I don't know. It's probably a really long video by now, but I think it's really cool. The extenders that I was talking about, Gigabyte, Inarifier, Ranryu, and Nefarious. They pretty much all do the same thing, and like I said, they are free summons. If you control a spellcaster monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. It doesn't have a colon or semicolon, just summon it. Kind of like Cyber Dragon, right? It doesn't activate, so again, it helps you get to Borbo and Chakanine. So that's really cool. And you can run this. Personally, I would only run 3, and if I were to run 3, I would run these 3. Because this is the worst one. Because they have secondary effects. And this guy's secondary effect is, during the opponent's end phase, if this card is in your grave, target one face-up monster you control, destroy it, and then if you do special summon this card. I don't want to do that. I want free stuff. So let's look at Ranryu. If this card is destroyed by battle, a card effect, and sent to the graveyard, you can target one monster, blah blah blah, which is basically them. In your graveyard, special summon it. Let's look at Inarifier. Once per turn during your next standby phase, if this face-up card on the field was destroyed, blah blah blah, special summon it from the graveyard. And Gigabyte, the best one. If this card is destroyed by battle, well, it's a win, by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one monster, blah blah blah, from your deck. So you can bring out either of these through. So that's really cool. And you know, it's a neat option. I tried it out, but I ultimately decided on just playing Droplet instead. And moving on to the next. Time Thief Regulator, Adjuster, Bezel Shift. This is basically the Time Thief engine. Now, I tried it out as well. It felt clunky. I wanted to have as much going second cards as possible because again, the deck just auto loses going second, so you won't have as much chance to break a board using 1 or 2 cards plus hand traps. So I didn't want to run this, and I also just wanted to play pure, honestly. But this is really cool because like I can show you what it does. I'll actually just explain it. I don't want to go to the demo. You go Time Thief Regulator, and you activate the effect. You summon 2, right? Oh, where's the other guy? Time Thief Winder. Oop, can't type apparently. Winder. There you go. So what happens here is you activate the Regulator's effect. You summon 2. You summon out Adjuster and Time Thief Winder, and this doesn't negate. So you can activate both these effects. This one searches, this one dumps. Now, Adjuster is going to dump Bezel Ship, and Winder is going to search anything. You can probably search either of this. And what that allows you to do is, well, you have 2 level 4s. And if you have 2 level 4s, you can actually access your EXORSISTER engine. How so? Well, remember, EXORSISTER, you can search using 2 of them. When you have an Xyz monster, you just can't use the effect during the turn that they're summoned if it doesn't have an EXORSISTER monster as material. So basically, you can, let's say, summon Magicalized and search a Mento, which basically means you already have access to another Floodgate. Plus, you still have Bezel Ship as well. And what that's going to allow you to do is detach one from your monster to special summon itself. And if you have an extender, like, I don't know, Elise, you can summon another one. And yeah, that's cool. Another thing is you can just go for the other. Sorry, I forgot the name of the other one. Let's see. Was it Caspitel? Okay, Caspitel. So let's go back there. So let's say you go for this. You summon Winder and Adjuster, right? So you dump this. You search something. You go for a rank 4. You go for Caspitel. You detach. You search Elise. Now you summon Elise for free because you have Caspitel. And then you activate Bezel Ship effect. Detach from Caspitel. And now you have another level, another pair of level 4s to make another XTs. Depends on you what you want to make with that. You can make, I don't know, maybe the Doer. The Doer is going to be cool. Why? Because you can have Flyback or Retrograde. What is Retrograde? You can, obviously, these 2 you're going to be searching from this. Retrograde, let's read it. When a spell or trap card is activated while you control a Time Thief Xyz monster, negate the activation, and if you do, attach it. Flyback, what does it do? Target one Time Thief Xyz monster you control, attach one Time Thief card from your hand or deck to it as material. So basically, if you search this, you attach Retrograde. You know what that means? Redoer is going to be live. Because if you have a trap, place one face-up card your opponent controls on top of the deck. Non-target. It doesn't target, guys. It doesn't target. So that's pretty cool because like it's kind of like a 1-card combo. I just felt like it was clunky, and if you're gonna run Regulator, you're probably running Gamma as well, and I didn't want to run Gamma. I took it out of my deck. So yeah, it's a cool little engine. I already tested it. It's cool, but I don't want to build a deck that's cool. I want to build a deck that wins competitively as much as possible. So yeah, I'm just trying to maximize the competitive potential of the deck. So that's why I chose not to play this, because I feel like it's going to be a little bit clunky and you're going to lose harder going second. So yeah, because like these cards are not going to do anything if you draw them. You draw these cards, they're bricks. If you draw them going second, they're bricks. You draw this going second, it's going to be negated. So it's just way worse than what I have so far, in my personal opinion. Again, it's subjective. You can think whatever you want. Moving on. Fairy Tail Luna, I already explained this. It's basically Tides of the Brethren target. Fusion Destiny, really cool. It can be splashed into anything anyways, so you can also just think about that. And these two are pretty decent as well. Dasher can special summon one from hand during the draw phase. Celestial can be a pot of greed, an even better one because you don't have to activate anything. So yeah, could be follow-up plus extender plus the DPE, which floats every time. That's really cool as well. Zoroan and Untitled Fusion. Wow. This is a little bit more gimmicky. And again, I think this is not going to be competitive. But someone pointed it out in the group, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. Let me see what I can do with that. Basically, Zoroa, you can equip it with a Magician's monster from your extra deck, and you basically equip Artemis, right? And upon doing that, Artemis is going to be able to search another Zoroa for follow-up. So basically, you replenish the card in your hand. And the cool thing here is you can special summon one level 4 spellcaster monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. So, you know what that means. Untitled Fusion, you can have Construct or Apkalone, depending on you. But yeah, Construct can dump a Shadow, let's say Dragon. Maybe try to force that Revolt or something like that. And you can send a light monster from the deck as well, right? So you can send a name and then normal summon Zoroa and activate the effect to special summon that monster. You know what that means? That's 2 level 4s, that's Magicalized, that's a search, that's a banish. So again, you could also do Caspital, you do you know? And yeah, that's also going to go hand in hand with Nadir, because you know, if you're already playing Untitled Fusion for Construct and the Apkalone, you can also play Nadir. I tested this version heavily because I wanted to go for Winda, right? Because why? Because well, Nadir is insane. Winda is insane. Winda wins your games for free. But the thing is, you have to run Prosperity. Well, I had to run Prosperity that time. That's what I thought. And the extra deck space was just way too tight. And yeah, it just wasn't worth it at the end of the day, in my opinion. It was cool because like you can set up an Xyz 4 and Winda, and you basically just win from there. It's an auto win going first, but and it's also an Ash bait, by the way. But yeah, I just feel like it's so much more concise and it works so much more smoothly when you're going pure. So I decided to drop this. So you can try it out your own and tell me what you think. But I think pure is the way to go for now. Other cards that you can use, Desires, obviously, it's really cool. Spellbook of Knowledge. Your entire main deck is composed of basically almost half spellcasters. So it's a free draw, and you also don't need to send for cost. So that's pretty cool, right? But it has to be a spellcaster monster you control. So it has to be on the field. So you have to think about that. Do you really want to send a monster you control to the grave just to draw one card? I don't know. Maybe if you draw Ties, maybe that's okay. But it really depends on you. Next, Secret Village of the Spellcasters. You're all spellcasters. So that's pretty cool. But again, there's another caveat. You have to think about when you summon out your Xyz monsters because they're warriors. At that point, this is going to be useless if you don't have another spellcaster on the board. So you have to be careful when using this. And on to the last card for the main deck ones, Magicalized Fusion. This is cool. You have a lot of spellcasters. You can cheese out a Quintet Magician. I just didn't like it. Why? Because number one, you don't really go for Verte. Number two, it's a brick. It's just a brick. So like, if I'm making a deck to be competitive, I don't want bricks in my deck. So I just went with the pure one. For the extra deck options, This is the one that I was telling you about earlier. Artemis is here just for the Zoroa. Perpetua, Redoer. You can basically just run the Time Thief engine and not play the EXORSISTER package. Not package, but like the EXORSISTER engine. But you know, the deck is so good, I don't want to run Time Thieves over it. So yeah, you can do the thing that I showed you earlier, but I don't know. I would just prefer the pure ones. Utopia and Utopia Double. It's a quick way to OTK because this deck sometimes struggles to push for game just turn 3 if you go first, or turn 2 if you go second. So you know, you can cheese out wins with this, but again, I don't want bricks. I have to run double or nothing. I don't want that. I don't want to draw bricks as much as possible, is what I mean. So yeah. Other Xyz 4 options. Dweller. We already have a Dweller. Why would you run this? Baguska. This one I could maybe get on board with, because there are going to be decks that are going to be heavily struggling against Baguska. Ultimately decided against running it because I wanted to try running these two, and because they're really good. But you know, it's a good option to have. Gaga Cowboy, my man. Burn for 800, jokingly. And you know, it's really cool. So maybe if you're attending real life events that only run tournaments for 40 minutes, it's going to be useful for you. Mini Zeus. I don't know, maybe you want to run it. It's cool. This one is interesting for me. Light Dragon Antagonistor. If you're up against a meta, well, not really a meta, but like a locals where you have some control decks, you can opt to put this in because it's generic. You know, like it's just 2 level 4 monsters, and has an effect when another you can detach one material from this card. You can destroy face-up monsters your opponent controls up to the number of antagonist or monsters you control. So it's basically Tornado Dragon, but with protection, because if a monsters you control would be destroyed by card effect, you can detach one material from this card instead. It's kind of like Ding, right? So instead of running this, I would probably just run this. So you know, just something to keep in mind. And it's also light, by the way. The next one, number 60, Dugaras the Timeless. This is basically like the better version of this. I feel like it's not always guaranteed that you're gonna be hitting for game turn 2, let's say, with this, but it's something that can help you get over that hump. And then Borbo, Draconine, Zeus. You know what it is. 2-cent Zeus, really strong. I don't know, ban this maybe. So yeah, that is pretty much it. That's such a long video, but let me know what you guys think. I think this deck is decent. It's not, I don't think it's tier 1. I don't think it's tier 1, not yet. Maybe there's a future support coming in that's going to make it even better. Maybe prevent banishing from the graveyard as well, not just activating, and not just preventing special summons. Maybe that comes out, Konami, if you're watching this. But basically, yeah, this deck is very concise right now. Very, you know, it's compact. 40 cards, good engine cards here, extender, going second card, 12 hand traps, 1 call by. I think it's really good. And with the testing that I have, it's been running really well. I'm probably gonna upload a replay video as well, so stay tuned for that. And that will pretty much be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Have a nice day.